Yeah, as the Trump administration scores some major military victories against Venezuelan fishing boats.
Well, should we talk about that? They've now bombed, I think, by their count, 3 boats
Yeah.
off of Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in New York, and cocaine is nowhere to be found in the restaurant industry. It's just gone. Like all the restaurants have shut. The bars are no longer functioning. Everyone's looking for Adderall because they stopped it. Like they're defending us from this poison flooding into our communities.
The fiends are everywhere, just scrambling, trying to find the coke that Trump has cut off. Yes.
The gentrifier dope fiends are like lining up around the block at clinics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke. And meanwhile, Daniel Noboa, who is the top exporter, one of the top exporters of cocaine to the United States, who's the president of Ecuador, is facing massive street protests right now. He's cutting subsidies for diesel, which is sort of what sparked, kind of helped spark the Caracazo that led to Hugo Chavez taking power in Venezuela, or first like launching his revolutionary coup attempt in 1992. And people are out in the streets, they're angry. Noboa is following a straight up IMF austerity program while he is working to set up what looks like a US military base, something that Correa prevented from happening. That's why Marco Rubio is just down there. So the real source of cocaine keeps showing up in banana shipments from Noboa's family company, Bonita Fruit Company. It keeps showing up packed in their crates. And who was the head of shipping for Bonita? It was Daniel Noboa himself, who was born in Miami, by the way, the son of Miami. His family are just like, South Florida oligarchs. So the hypocrisy is out of control. We have several interviews or several short documentaries about Ecuador and Noboa at the Grayzone that I think set this, put this in perfect context. But another point I made, I guess I tweeted out a 60 Minutes episode or segment back when 60 Minutes was had Mike Wallace, and they sometimes investigated the CIA instead of letting the CIA write their scripts.
And they don't, and they didn't have a Zionist ombudsman as they do now. Someone was recently appointed as the ombudsman at CBS News, who was like a pro-Israel activist.
Yeah, David Weissman from the Hudson Institute in Washington. I mean, that they're setting the stage for Barry Weiss to come in. His job is to just crush the news division on behalf of Israel. He's a straight up Israel lobbyist. So anyway, Mike Wallace exposed how the CIA was funding through foundations, like the Ford Foundation was funding the left, the non-communist left. He has a history of doing real investigative journalism. So he did a piece on how the CIA had a plan to let the dope walk in the pre-Chavez era of Venezuela. And their key assets, the DEA's key asset inside Venezuela, this is a DEA plan and CIA. Their key asset was a general, I think his name was Guillen. I don't have it in front of me. And he was basically told to oversee these cocaine shipments inside the US. So supposedly then the DEA could track how the cocaine gets into the cities, who's dealing it, and so on. And something like 20 tons of cocaine, which is actually a lot of cocaine, was shipped into the US in a very short time. I saw it growing up in DC. I could just see it. Like, it was like overnight, there was a crack epidemic in DC, and there wasn't before. It just happened. Like 1988, it was just like, boop. Next thing you know, you had people like literally lining up around the block on New York Ave to buy crack from Rayful Edmonds, who was like the big kingpin. He was making tens of millions of dollars a month, but he was like the middleman for these cartels, which were being run by the CIA. So back to the Venezuelan generals, they wore this symbol for their officer corps that was a sun, and they just were informally known as the Cartel of the Suns. Okay, this whole operation ended. The Cartel of the Suns no longer existed, and it was resurrected by Attorney General William Barr under Donald Trump to issue a $25 million bounty for Nicolas Maduro, accusing him of being in charge of the Cartel of the Suns, a fake cartel that the CIA and DEA helped create. at the expense of the American public.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is this story? So it's all come full circle, and they're using it again as the basis for a scenario. I mean, there's 4 scenarios, like insurgency, and they're not going to be able to get that going. Like a color revolution, they tried that with Guaido, didn't happen. Like an internal coup in the military, not going to happen. Invasion, possible. Airstrikes, I would say likely. Like they might actually move from taking out these boats to actually attacking inside Venezuela, saying we're attacking the cartels. And they've been threatening to do that to Mexico too.
Yeah. Yeah. And this week, Maduro, or his presidency, released a letter that he wrote directly to Trump after Trump's first attack on that speedboat, offering to engage in direct talks with Trump's envoy, Richard Grenell. And by all indications, Trump has turned that down. He just said his like usual stock statement, we'll see what happens, which when he said that before about Iran, for example, that led to bombing. So it looks like inside the White House, again, you have a split with people like Richard Grenell, who's advocated diplomacy, but Marco Rubio, I mean,
Rubio trumped Grenell.
Yeah, and it's an open secret that Grenell and Rubio have been totally at odds.
Yep.
But Rubio totally, it's same thing with Lindsey Graham. Rubio totally has Trump's ear, whereas Richard Grenell has been sidelined.
Yeah, Grenell, I mean, the fact is he's just not working as hard as Rubio. Rubio has this deputy named Michael Needham, who comes out of the Heritage Foundation and is very connected on Capitol Hill and Congress. He's one of the most powerful people in Washington that no one's heard of. And Grenell just doesn't have the same operation. Also, Rubio managed to take control over the entire national security bureaucracy through the demolition of USAID. And now he's as powerful as Kissinger. I don't think he can exert the same amount of power as influence as Kissinger, because he's not as intelligent, but he's definitely been a savvy operator. And Lindsey Graham will gain influence as long as Marco Rubio does. They have the same pimp, Paul Singer. Paul Singer, through his Elliott Capital Management, now owns Venezuela's largest asset, which was stolen from it. Its largest international asset, Citgo, which was stolen from it through the recognition of Juan Guaido as president. And now it's owned by Paul Singer, who's the biggest funder of Marco Rubio's career and is also one of the 2 key funders seeking to take out Thomas Massey in Kentucky because he's a Zionist fanatic.